Hi, everyone. Welcome to DMG's Bootstraps in Business. I'm Savannah Jones with Stephen Hodges and Dakota Gild. We're going to talk to him about his golf cart business and everything else. He is
19 years old.
All right. So tell us how you got this golf cart business started.
Yeah, so I grew up on 5 acres. We always had chores. I grew up with 3 siblings. We just had chores, take the garbage down the driveway, stuff like that. So we were tired of walking the garbage down to the end of the driveway, so we got a golf cart to go down to the end of the driveway. With that being said, all of us saved up $200. We bought a golf cart for $500 or $800, sold it for $1,000 at the end of the summer. We're like, wow, this is cool. A couple $100. Did it again and again and again. And it really stuck with me and my sister. She's a couple years older than me, and turned into a business for us. And then we started buying 5 at a time. We did that for a year. We're buying 5 at a time.
And how old are you when you're doing this?
10, 12 years old.
Oh,
Right.
my goodness.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And, everyone asks, who was involved? Was it your dad? Was it your mom? Well, he taught us how to sell the first one. But other than that, it was literally just us. We were just grinding, saving our money, selling, stuff like that. So we got 5. The first year we may have sold 40 golf carts. And the second year our goal is 100. We did that for a year. And then we were like, wow, this is cool. Let's do 150. Did that. And then we really started saving our money, kept growing, got a couple golf courses to say, hey, here's a fleet. Here's 50 golf carts. So we had to bring it all together and try to buy 50 golf carts. And then, fast forward 4 or 5 years from there, we're we're in a dealership, outgrew our garage at our house, and now we'll probably do close to 1,000 golf carts this year.
So right now, every person that is watching this that owns a car dealership is going to show that clip to all of their car salesmen and said, listen, you're being outsold by this guy who sold, 50. You can sell 50. Yeah, that is amazing. And so did your dad help you, obviously, at some level, but was more hands-off?
So, yeah, he kind of shows how to sell. Never gave us any money to do it, never. But he was always instrumental in teaching us he worked in sales, so how do you talk to people? How do you look at people in the eye? How do you close deals? Stuff like that, the basics, and then me and my sister kind of just ran away with it. But yeah, he always was there for support and give us knowledge and stuff like that, but stayed hands off. And then, me and my sister kind of ran away with it.
So is it Demi?
Demi, yeah.
Yeah. So you two are in business together, and this is just a tip of the iceberg of your golf cart business, right? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but you are really good at relationships, and you're 19 now, and you started this at 10 years old. So what is the big takeaway for you? If somebody is watching right now, a teenager, somebody in their early 20s, like, I could do this. What would be that first step for them? What really helped you?
That's a great question. Great question. So the thing about it is you can't be afraid to talk to people. You can't be, everyone always says, Dakota, you ask too many questions. You ask way too many questions. And I, at first I got embarrassed. My face would get red and I would be like, angry, like, why are you trying to insult me? Now
you're asking more questions.
Now I'm asking more questions, and I look at it as I'm inquisitive. I want to know. I always trying to find an angle or want to learn something about someone, stuff like that. So, number 1, don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And the second thing is you have to. One thing for me is, I just had to go do it. I had to try it, fail a few times, and just go do it. So, that was a lot of it. That's why I would tell younger people is just go do it, try it out, and see how it goes. And don't be afraid. Go make connections, talk to people, make those relationships, because that's what took me from 100 to 1,000 carts is relationships and knowing the right people.
Yeah, I know what I'm learning from this. I have an 11-year-old. And I'm going to go home and ask him what he's doing. What are your plans?
Goal?
What are your goals? not, Dad, I'm 11. It doesn't matter. Watch this. I'm going to play that. I'm like, you see him? Yeah, 10.
No pressure.
Right. No pressure. Step up. So wait, okay. So you and your sister, you have this business. You're in high school. Okay. I mean, did you go to college?
I did not. So my sister went to college.
Okay.
School wasn't really for me. I didn't love it. I loved the sports in school and I loved everything else about it, but I did not love the academic part. So I knew right away that, probably freshman, sophomore year, that I wasn't going to go to college. So this was my focus right after high school. Actually worked out perfectly. My business was booming. Everyone was golfing because of the pandemic, getting outside. So right about that time is when we had way too many people coming over to our house to look at golf carts. So we moved into a dealership. 10 people a day over at our house looking at golf carts. So my parents finally said, enough of these people. You guys need to find a dealership. So right when the pandemic, August, I graduated in June and I opened my dealership in August. And that kind of, put everything into play for us. So that's kind of.
Yeah, I can imagine right now a lot of academics that are watching this, they're like, yeah, just do what he did. I mean, why get a business management degree? Well, I've always said too that I think this is really important for people because I have friends that come to me about, hey, you started a business. What's like, what do I need to know? It's what you're saying right now. Just do it. I mean, go ahead and fail. That's part of it, right? Failure is a piece to learn from, right? And so I've always said that, and college isn't for everybody.
I totally agree. So right now, I feel like there's so much pressure on college, and college is good, but it also can get you in debt early. It can, especially if you don't know what you want to do. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and so that helped me. I knew I wanted to make money. I knew I wanted to run a business. I tried a few different things. My first year, I had my golf cart business, tried to do some other things too, but I just realized school wasn't for me, and it's not for everyone, and I feel bad for the kids who are forced into that. Right. There's a lot of people, especially with society right now, funneling them into college. And that's, I went to a college prep school, Christian private school, and college was a big thing. They're always like, you need to go to college, do college. And so it was a little weird. I was probably the only person in my class, maybe one other, that didn't go to college. He actually works for me now, which is funny.
Right. I mean, well, you're also sitting there at, 15, 16 years old and like, yeah, so I'm a millionaire. I don't know. I mean, unless you want to go get a history degree so you can drink, sip brandy and smoke a cigar and talk about politics and, why? I mean, you're doing what you love and you're learning from it. So I get that. What's interesting? You brought, I think, something up. We talk about college. Yesterday, so my son graduated, I can't believe I'm going to say it, elementary school. Now, listen, when I went through elementary school, there was no they called it a clap out where all the parents show up and clap, high five, which is really cool. I didn't get any of that, but we're doing that now. And so, which I'm fine with, went to dinner and the waiter, young guy, right? And we're talking to him and I said, he goes, I just graduated myself from high school. I go, okay, are you going to go to college? And he says, no. He goes, I'm going to go to become an electrician, electrical trade school. And I'm like, well, that is college. The difference is they pay you, right? I mean,
great.
Right? Like why are we apologizing almost, for, I'm going to go become an electrician and yeah, you're going to go make what, 150, 200 a year. Why are you apologizing? Right? Like, that's amazing. Why, we need to celebrate that too. I totally hear when you say like college, not for everybody. And I say it too. Of all the business owners that I know, that I'm talking about, the entrepreneurs started it from ground up, got it to grow, maybe sold, maybe still running it. They have one thing in common. I'd say about 70% of them didn't go to college.
Well, there are lots of ways to find success and fulfillment. And college is one way for some people. Sometimes it's just that social
Right.
atmosphere that people are looking for. And then the academics, there are academics, but the avenues are many to success. You knew what you wanted to do. College would have slowed you down.
For sure.
It would have stopped you in your tracks. I mean, you would have been trying to focus on college when, you could have been growing your business. So everybody has to make that decision. And like you, fortunately, at a young age, you figured some things out and it was working for you, which I'm sure we're going to get into. You took to other avenues. I mean, it just led to other avenues because you already figured out a system that works for you and you just apply it probably with every step you take. You just go back to the basics.
For sure. Yeah, you just gotta, if you know what you gotta do, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
So when you started, were you ever, I know I was, but I mean, I got to know the answer to this. Were you ever scared?
Very.
Okay. I'm good. I'm glad ignorance was not bliss. Because that actually, I mean, I know when I started how scared I was in my mind.
So
right?
we always had, me and my sister were fine. We were doing good at our house. The scariest time is when my dad called us in like, hey, you got to move. You have 45 days to get the golf carts out. And
Dad's pissed. You got to get out of my garage.
Yeah. And that was, the pandemic was happening. I wasn't sure how it was going to affect my business. I was graduating high school. I was on Zoom online and we weren't sure. Like we were looking everywhere. Are we going to buy a building? Well, we didn't have the credit to do that. Are we going to rent a building? So we had to go through that. And luckily we found a great spot. But yeah, that was probably the scariest.
Did you buy or did you lease or rent?
We leased.
Okay.
Our lease is up in about a year and we'll probably move locations.
Are you looking to buy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Something bigger.
Yeah. And it's tough because I know commercial real estate is kind of going down, yet when it comes to storage and warehouse facilities, that's going up.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, in price. So yeah, commercial, you can't lump all commercial real estate into the same bucket because it dices, right?
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So talk more about this fear. Go into that because I think, I want to hear, we have a lot of people that listen, they're employees. And I know some of them have personally asked me, how do I do a company? How do I start this? And I always tell them, just do it. Just literally be Nike and just do it. Just go. And they don't do that because of fear. And I think people get the myth in their head that if the fear talks louder. And so I want you to talk about the fear that you went through and then how you overcame that.
Yeah. So fear's interesting. I am very, I don't, when it comes to business, I put myself out there. I'm not fearful about business. Now, my sister's more conservative. On the other hand, she kind of reels me back in like, hey, let's take another look at this. Like I'm always trying to make a move like, hey, let's do this. Let's go. Let's get after it. Well,
and she holds you back or accountable, I should say, about finances, right?
Yeah, my sister's like, hey, let's look at it from this angle. Let's make sure, we have all our checks and balances in order. Like, let's make sure we'll make money at that. Let's, what's our monthly expenses going to be if we add that or do this or buy this. So it's good. But on the other hand, we wouldn't have been able to do what we've done if we have been fearful. If we had fear, my sister's, she's not fearful, but she's just more conservative.
Right. You found a way to put it aside.
So there's a good balance of, getting after it and going to do stuff and having no fear, but also being conservative about what you do. But, the fear, we had real fear when we had to go find a dealership. I was 17. My sister was 20.
That's amazing.
No one's going to rent to a 17 or 20-year-old.
Right.
We didn't have anyone to co-sign with us. None of that. And so that's what we had to figure out.
Now, do you travel for work? I mean, you have to go, visit, buy carts, right?
Yeah.
Get inventory. So walk me through. I'm going to ask a question that I don't know if many would think about. How do you rent a car?
It's called Uber. I can't rent a car.
Right. Like here you are, you own this business and you can't rent a car. Yeah. That's amazing. But you get around it. The
biggest obstacle that I had to overcome is, I couldn't have a credit card.
Right.
I couldn't, my bank told me you were the youngest guy to ever write requests for checks, write checks, stuff like that. So there was a lot of obstacles to overcome. No like net 30 accounts because you don't have the credit for that. No, right. None of that. When you travel, had to travel before I was 18 for business. Hey, you can't check into a hotel. You aren't 18. Stuff like that.
Did they sit in the front row and they gave you the little wings?
Yeah, I should have.
I think literally everybody watching this show that is coming up with excuses of why you can't do something, stop. Listen.
Right.
You overcome. And I mean, these are small things on paper maybe, but they're not, because when you go to rent a car and they're like, yeah, you're too young, you got to take Uber. That is humiliating.
On a way to
on one hand, because you're like, well, all right, got to take Uber, but you overcame and you don't care. Yeah. And I think that is the most impressive thing to me. You should be talking at every high school. You and your sister have done something here that I think is so damn impressive, that you're overcoming fear. You're overcoming the subtleties of life, of renting or getting a hotel room or, renting a car. I think that's impressive, and you just keep going.
Yeah, it's important. I feel like not a lot of high schoolers right now don't have that. They're, we're going to go to college and then we're going to see what happens and then we're going to figure out what we need to do. That, that success that me and my sister have had, we've talked about, we have a couple workers come from our high school because we're well known, the success we had coming from our high school. So we have a couple workers come back, 2 or 3 guys who went to high school with us, work with us. They see our success. They, want to be a part of it. So that's cool. We try to help, give other people the same idea. Hey, you can go do this. You don't have to go to college. My sister got her business degree. But she regrets going to college. She's like, I could do the same thing without the debt of college.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about the golf carts, because you needed a way to take the garbage or get the mail down to the end of the driveway. Turns into a huge business for you. And now it's even more than that, because now you've stepped into customized golf carts. So let's hear about that.
And this is where we need to be, when we edit this, Eric needs to put the images that these are impressive golf carts. Right. I mean, very, very impressive.
Yeah, so we were just selling stock carts. All the first 400 carts were just stock. Then a buddy of mine, very successful buddy of mine, sitting next to him at a Blazer game, he was talking to me and he said, do you build custom golf carts? I went to UNLV. I want a custom UNLV golf cart. And I said, no, I have no idea. He said, well, price does not matter with me. I want you to try it. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done it. So me and my sister were just, how do we put these cool wheels on this golf? Just figuring it out. YouTube.
Right, just go figure it out. Your YouTube. Right, yeah.
Took the body down to some paint shop. Hey, can you spray it this color? Go to Fast Signs and get some decals. Hey, just pieced it together.
Making dreams come true is what I say.
He absolutely loved it. We delivered it to Royal Oaks Country Club in Vancouver. Fast forward, we didn't think much of it. We're like, oh, this is cool. Like, maybe there's something there. But it was a lot of work the first time.
Right.
We're like, it's a lot of work. We'll stick
discovery.
With the stock.
It's a lot of discovery work.
Yeah. So he calls us again. He's like, I want 2 golf carts. Can you do them? And I said, sure. Why not? And, we were selling $4,000 or $5,000 golf carts. Or no, not even that much. $2,000 to $4,000 golf carts. Fair. His golf cart, his first one, was $6,800. We're like, whoa,
this
crazy.
We are making dreams come true. Yes.
The next ones were 4-passenger golf carts, $8,000. Me and Demi thought we had it made.
Right. Things are going to start happening to me now.
Yeah. So, and then we started customizing carts. We started doing this and that. And people started seeing it. We, added an Instagram page and started making some cool custom golf carts. And, fast forward to now, our golf carts, we sell I think our most expensive cart we've ever sold is 24,000. So
That's amazing.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's multiplied.
After you sold that, did you look at Demi and say, "Now we've made it"?
Yeah.
Or are you just gonna keep, keep it going?
We have the conversation like, "Hey, what's the most expensive cart we've ever sold?" The money's the same in all of them. It's just
Right.
adding more accessories. And I said, we always kept track, like 10 grand's are most expensive. Now 12. We're like, we had a bunch of orders for $15,000 golf carts. We're like, that's cool. But now we're like, when we get the $24,000 golf cart, and then someone wants to order a $15,000, we're like, it's cool, but it's not. It's not 30 grand.
I mean, look, I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well,
So talk about like some of the people that you've met and how, you can name drop, but more importantly, how you met them, right? And because I've noticed, I'll just kind of give you a little heads up. I mean, everybody watching, you have an ability to ask amazing questions. And I know that's how you meet people, and you have no fear, obviously. So go through that and some of the people that you've worked with and how that came to be.
So I'm a huge sports fan. So that got me into it. And Mike Barrett, our spokesperson, a good friend of mine, I met him through a customer. I sold a golf cart to a customer, and he connected me with Mike. Mike wanted a golf cart for his neighborhood. So Mike DMs me one night and says, "Dakota, nice to meet you. I want a golf cart." Me and Mike he's one of my closest friends. He's turned into a mentor, my spokesperson, great dude. So we bounced some ideas. He had, working with the Blazers, he had some famous celebrities that wanted some golf carts. I was like, wow, this is cool. Like Portland celebrities.
Right.
And then he works with the Portland Diamond Project, and Russell Wilson, one of the investors, has a golf tournament. This was just a year ago next week, so not even a year ago. And he said, "I want you to build Russell Wilson a custom golf cart." And I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, Russell, I'm a huge Seahawks fan. Russ is like my favorite, and it happened to be on my birthday. I was like, Mike, that's like the best birthday present. Like, This is crazy. I hadn't built for any celebrities before. I was like, wow. Take one up to his golf tournament, sell one to Russ. After that, I was like, these people have the money. This is such a great way to grow my brand. So I was in LA in September. Me and my girlfriend just went on a trip to LA to Disneyland, and LA, everyone's there, and I get connected with a group who represent Jamie Foxx and represent Cedric the Entertainer and a bunch of guys, and I built a relationship with them. Fast forward to October, I think 2nd, I'm in Jamie Foxx's house.
That's great. I mean, like, you can't write a movie, you know what I mean?
And then it just exploded from there. Next person, person after that, they just talk, and I'm not.
And he seems like a pretty down to earth person to me. I mean, I don't know him, but
he's amazing.
Right.
What I tell myself, at first I was very starstruck. Russell Wilson, hey, nice to meet you. Kind of be shy because I didn't know what to expect. But now, when I've had the opportunity to meet some really cool people the past year, and I go into it with the mindset of, I'm not going to ask them for anything because these guys don't want to be asked for anything. I'm going to go into it with the mindset of, what do they need?
Right.
Ask them what they need and ask them how I can help them. I don't even talk golf carts at first. I just say, hey, this is who I am. I want to help you in any way I can. I build a relationship. I build trust with them. It's far more than golf carts.
Right. And then you take care of them going forward.
And then golf carts, are...
Golf carts happen.
I will say, though, and hopefully at some point we can find the photo to bring up the first golf cart that you delivered to Russ. But I will say there was an opportunity missed. And I told Mike about it, back then. I said, no, do a golf cart like the movie Major League, where he's in the helmet, the batter helmet. I thought that would have been amazing, but Mike's like, no, dude, that's not happening. And I was like, why? I don't understand. I think this is great. We're
trust.
Yeah,
building trust.
Yeah, building trust, right? And now Russ is going to need a new golf cart for his new team. Yeah, Broncos.
Yeah, what's cool is I'm a huge Seahawks fan.
Right.
Huge Seahawks fan. And I just got connected a few weeks ago with DK Metcalf. I was hanging out with him, and he's going to build a golf cart. So I'm a huge Seahawks fan. So we're going to build another Seahawks cart for him. And
right.
I just opened up a second location in Seattle, and so it's gonna be great. I'm gonna build for a few other Seahawks, and I'm a big sports guy, so it helps.
Yeah, I don't need a golf cart, but I really
they're fun.
Want one now.
How fun!
Right, I want to drive around. Can you bring them indoors? So I want to drive around the office. Little DMG golf cart.
Doesn't look like the clown car.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I want mine to be a helmet though. Right. Just like we talked about. I think that would be. Have you seen the movie Major League? It's an old movie,
Not.
Okay, yeah, I recognize I'm too old now, but Major League 1, the first one, not the second one, and yeah, there's a scene where the guy steals the golf cart with the helmet. It's amazing. If you could build one just like that, I think, yeah, I'd be a buyer.
So back to your love of sports. So now not only are you working with the Seattle new location, but you're also now working with universities and expanded into that area as well?
Yeah. So after COVID, college recruits are back on campus, touring around, and the big programs have the money, and they say, we want to take these guys around campus on style, these girls and guys around campus on style. So the first one I build, Mike connected me with Oregon State baseball. So I get a call from Mitch Canham, who's the head coach, and he says, I want you to build this for me. And, I had no clue what to expect, so I just built him a 6-passenger golf cart. Here you go. I took that picture and I blew it up.
Beaver logo, the whole nine.
Logo, championship, 06, 07, 18, whatever it is. And he takes his guys around on campus. It's great. Well, I didn't realize how popular it was. So I decided to go to the Final Four this year.
Of course you did.
To watch basketball, but to
and
talk to some coaches.
Right. And then you're sitting next to Michael Jordan, me and Mike,
Yeah, so, and that trip really what set me apart. I got an order for 7 carts from BYU, LM, Loyola, Marymount University. Just a ton of universities. USC track yesterday.
And for the IRS that may be watching, that is a write-off. You're here. He got some orders, had business meetings. Go ahead. I just helped you in your audit.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
But yeah, a lot of universities, it's the popular thing right now. So every university is trying to outdo the other one, especially within conference. So I talked to LSU football, which was really cool. I went down there. I got a tour of their facility, and they have crazy money they want something crazy. So I'm working with them right now. A few other programs around the country, but
how exciting for you to start a business at 10 years old, trying to get the trash down the end of the driveway, pick up the mail, and a love of sports, and have at this stage of the game at 19, like a perfect union.
It's great. I kind of had to find an excuse. I love sporting events. If I wouldn't work, and I would just go travel to all the big games or do that, like that's what I love. That's my passion, sports. So I had to find an excuse. Hey Demi, I'm gonna go to the Final Four to talk to coaches.
Sell something.
Yeah. So that's kind of what.
So wait, does Nick Saban know the LSU ordered? Because I think he should know.
He needs to outdo him.
Yeah, but you got to find a way to make the baseball cap. I'll send you what I'm talking about. I really
He's
think
not going to let it go.
No, now that I thought about it, I'm like, that's a missed opportunity. The Cleveland Indians, now Guardians. I apologize, but back then they were the Indians. So I said it.
So let's talk about all your spare time. Like, I know you do some collecting, watches.
Yeah, I actually not wearing anything. I enjoy watches. I enjoy golfing. Of course travel, but I haven't been able to, like, whenever I travel, I'm always trying to sell golf carts now. But yeah, I really enjoy golf, watching sports, going to sports events, country music. I love country music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what I've done with my life. I mean, I am not working smart enough, apparently. Like I'm more motivated now than ever
I
before.
know.
At 10 years old, you did this. I'm like, what have I done? You know, I mean, so much wasted time.
So tell also other ventures, like you have other ventures outside of golf carts.
Yeah, so I own a food truck. I got a call about 6 months ago, and a guy, he sold over $100,000 out of a little cargo trailer last year, and he says, Dakota, Mike was on the call. Dakota, Mike, I want you guys to buy a food truck. And it turned out I bought this. His neighbor, someone had a heart attack and ran into this amazing food truck, brand new, for a fraction of the cost. And I said, I'd buy that. I'd rent it to you. And I own part of the. It's called Good News Barbecue. I own part of that company too, and we've taken off with a bunch of events and stuff like that. So that's one thing. I sell equipment, golf course equipment, or I love tractors, stuff like that. Sell some of that.
When are you going to buy a golf course? I mean, that's next, right? When are we?
Yeah.
That's next.
Now's the wrong time. Everyone's golfing, but yeah, anything I can sell, or I've sold tickets before. I've done a lot of.
Do you feel like you're just a natural, like a not salesperson, but just a natural relationship person? Like it just comes naturally to you?
I got that gift. I was blessed with that gift of just talking to people, relationship building. A lot of people don't have it. I don't have a lot of good characteristics, but that's one.
Oh my gosh.
That's one good characteristic I do.
Come on, man. You're selling yourself short. I think you do. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, there's a lot of talents out there, like that I need to work on for sure. But relationship building, it just comes easy. It's just,
if that's the one talent you have, that's a damn good talent to have. I'll tell you that right now. It matters for sure. I mean, from my perspective anyways. And you've met some good friends though along the way. I mean, that's what's fun about business, in my opinion, that you get to meet genuinely good people, right? And, carry that relationship on. It can last a lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, forget about the celebrities. Like,
right.
It's cool. It's
right.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Going in Jamie Foxx's house, selling him a golf cart, that's really cool.
And he's a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah,
correct.
We built him a Cowboys cart.
Yeah, that would be my order too. That's why I think Jamie Foxx is pretty amazing. He knows how to pick his football teams.
But
just saying.
All that aside,
Seahawks fan here looking at me like, dude, come on, man.
Come on, get off the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But all that aside, the relationships with my relationships with my employees, my relationships that I've made for 8 years. Where I buy my golf cart batteries, where I buy my parts, where I buy my carts, stuff like that. I mean, those are 10-year relationships. If I never, I would talk to Jamie Foxx again, but if I didn't, we're friends, but it's not like the relationships I've built for 10 years.
Right. No, that makes sense. Talk to me about, because you guys have a little bit something different. I think that you guys are, kind of getting into more, not EV, but kind of close, right?
Yeah.
Where it could be a little bit of a license deal. Like, I don't live in a golf cart community,
Yeah.
but I will tell you, my friends live downhill, right, from the house. It's a pretty good hike, and I should do it more often. I know if you're watching, I get it. I should be hiking that every day, and I don't. However, I will say, though, it would be nice, you know what I mean? You can just kind of roll down there, hang out, partake, maybe a nightside fire chat with the neighborly brothers, and then drive back, because I don't want to walk that damn hill. You know what I mean? So, but I can't do that in a golf cart. Washington County frowns upon that on the street. So,
So
what do you got?
That's a great question. So during the pandemic, right after, I mean, I guess we're still in a pandemic, but right after we kind of got some of our freedom back, you could say everyone was having to work shortage of labor, and
Still is, yeah.
so was I. And, we still build custom golf carts, but we're like, we can't build them from the ground up. It's not cost effective. And I also want to start doing new golf carts. I was just doing used at the time. So we figured it out. Like, there's a few companies that we would work with that had quality products. One of the companies is based out of Corona, California. That's between Palm Springs and LA.
Yep.
That builds brand new golf carts. It's called Evolution Electric Vehicles. And we approached them and we said, we're a bigger dealer and we'd love to sell your product. So they come already built. They come with a 2-year warranty with upgraded batteries, upgraded stereo. They kind of come all decked out, which then we take that and customize. So it saves us a lot of labor building them from the ground up. So that's kind of what we've transitioned into. Being brand new vehicles, they come with a title. You can register them. They go.
Does it go over 25 miles an hour?
Yeah, they go 25. They do everything.
The sound of that is me winning over Washington County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah,
that's an electric vehicle is what that is.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we transitioned into.
Can you turn that into a helmet?
You and your helmet.
You watch the movie. It's a great flick. You should know Major League the movie.
Oh,
one of the best.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's a great film. You should definitely watch that. And just for that golf cart scene alone,
It can be your traveling sign, like the Oscar Mayer wiener. It can be the baseball hat.
Yeah.
It can be-
just I mean, it looks.
Across
Remember
the-
the Sundays you would get from A&W,
right.
and you can
And
eat
the
out of that.
baseball.
And then it's a little helmet. You ever see those little?
He knows what a helmet is.
Well, no, the little helmets. I mean, no, they don't do it anymore. Like literally, it's a thing. Like I don't know why they don't bring it back. I mean,
I don't even know where an A&W is.
No, on the way, there was one on the way to Seaside, Oregon, and I think
They're shutting down, aren't
yeah, they look, and that's another thing. I was going to bring it up later after the show, but that's something else you could buy, because why not? And I think you would actually do really well with Gen X. Guys like me, we'd be like, oh my God, they brought A&W back. I mean, I don't know where there's one.
You'd be
No,
my
I don't
biggest
know.
customer, wouldn't you?
Oh, well, figuratively and literally. I mean, I would be in all the time. I mean, sorry, I had to drop that. There was a good, okay, I digress.
Well, what's next? Other than the EV, and I mean, are you staying in the lane here with golf carts, or are you looking at something more?
No, that's a great question. We pivoted this year. We wanted one really big location. Me and Demi were like, instead of opening other locations, let's focus on one. We got our Portland location to where we wanted it to be. Now our focus is expanding. So we're opening we opened a Seattle store. We're in the process of opening a Palm Springs, Palm Desert location, as well as Las Vegas. So our focus is to grow locations, multiply those, but also being cautious, not growing too fast. So, because that's where businesses have trouble when they grow, but they grow too fast. If it was up, we could open up 10, 15 locations today, but we're taking it one by one. Our Seattle one's opened 3 weeks ago. It's getting really hot right now. Then we'll open up Palm Springs and Vegas.
So when you open up a location, is it like a car dealership where people can walk on the lot, if you will?
Yeah.
And is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, that's
Right.
the goal. We try to do it inside.
Sure.
Try to have all our stuff inside.
Like a mall?
Yeah, kind of. Like
Very cool.
if you go to Tesla
Yeah,
inside.
like Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't have we only have a service center in Portland. So Portland's kind of our distribution center. So like
Right.
up to see everything comes to Portland, then we distribute it from there. And it's Seattle's close. So if we need carts, we run them up there. Great location.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle needed a good golf cart dealer up there.
A couple of stadiums. I mean, it sounds like a good ride.
Yeah, some colleges, no big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
You definitely need to bring a cart up.
Well, I think it's genius. I mean,
For
because I don't know that I've seen kind of that model. So that's a good model to go with, I think, and being able to ship from, Portland. Eventually you're going to need warehouse space. So what are you thinking about as far as distribution goes? Walk us through kind of your thought process on when to grow that piece of it.
So Seattle is what we call a micro location. It's not as big as our Portland location, but it has everything it needs to sell just as much, and it can be just as productive on the sales side as Portland. We have a couple operations people in Portland, offices and a big lot. So I can probably hold 300, 400 golf carts at my lot in Portland. So I do a few different things in Portland. We also have a service center, stuff like that. But getting into your question, Portland will service and distribute to Seattle. Now, when I open up Palm Springs and Vegas, they will be bigger locations that won't need to be
service from Portland.
Yeah, distributed to. So those will be drop shipped from the factory, and I'll have to, we will build up those locations, stuff like that.
That's really cool. And then what about, so LSU football or something like that? So if they order, that's all going to come from Portland.
All our
you would
super
ship
custom stuff will come through Portland.
Got it.
All my builders who've been with us for a while are in Portland, so we build all our super cool stuff in Portland.
Very
HQ.
Cool.
Yeah, headquarters.
Portland HQ. I like it. Well, hey, I mean, Portland Business Journal needs to be doing an article about you. I mean, this is, what is that? Under 40. Right?
Under 20.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to start a new category.
When's your birthday?
It's next week.
Oh, so you'll be 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
So they're going to have
Happy
to do
birthday.
getting closer to 21. Look at you go.
I know. I mean, yeah, I feel like your 21er is going to be a pretty good birthday bash.
I wonder
and
where.
I'm really angling to get invited because I don't know, but it's going to be really cool.
Maybe Seattle.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, for all I know, by then I'll be with the president of the United States. I'm sure they'll be like, yeah, it's really weird. I was in Palm Springs. This guy was rolling by. I go, that's a terrible cart. Here's one for you. I don't know what's happening here, but this is, I'm sure it will be though.
That's funny. Yeah. We're going to open up our Palm Springs and Las Vegas store probably in the next 6 months. September, I'll open up one, followed by before the end of the year for the second one. So that'll be cool. That will really expand us. Right now, it's not a great time to open in Palm Desert. It's 115 degrees there right now.
Very warm.
So I want to start building my relationships there when people need golf carts.
Absolutely.
Well, and those could not be better locations for golf carts.
Yeah. Las Vegas is very underestimated for golf. It has some of the best golf in the world.
Absolutely.
Best neighborhoods in the world.
Yep.
Best, there's a lot of retired business owners there.
Right.
Golfers that live in Vegas, tax law, stuff like that. There's a lot of well-off people. Vegas, Palm Springs, huge golfing community. More golf courses in Palm Springs. I think it's more golf courses in Palm Springs and Phoenix if you put those two together more in those two places than the whole world. So it's crazy.
Wow.
It's so funny, your story in regards to how you started, because you would think a golf cart entrepreneur would be in the golf mecca of the world and thinking about golf courses and golfing and all of that. And you're like, nah, I just don't want to carry the garbage.
Right.
Funny you say that.
Best story.
It is.
Funny you say that, though. I talk a lot about golf courses, this and that and the other thing, but only about 20% of my business comes from golf courses and golfers.
Right.
The most common golf cart I sell it's a lifted, customized 4-passenger golf cart. You can't take it on the golf course, fully street legal, just for people cruise around their neighborhood. The second most common cart I sell is a 4-passenger, and the back flips over. And people can use it around apartment complexes
Job
for
sites.
maintenance, stuff like that.
Yep.
The third most common cart I sell is a 6-passenger golf cart. People, neighborhood use, college use, whatever. And the fourth most common is the typical golf cart.
I would not have ever guessed that.
Yeah.
I would not. I would have just thought it was a 2-seater.
Yeah, I spent time there thinking of justifying how many
Get the 6-seater.
Yeah, need a golf cart, right, rolling around in my neighborhood, which is that big, and just hearing my wife asking me why, and I'm trying to come up with that excuse now. So it's a really valid one. I don't know that I'm going to get there, but I'm working on it.
I'll help you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And also get me in the Las Vegas grand opening. I would appreciate that. I mean, yeah, I want to put, that's a write-off. Anybody at the IRS watching, that's a write-off. We're in. Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to add? Of course, we're going to put all your links and contact information in the show notes, but it's such a great story.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. Appreciate your guys' podcast. Listen to a few episodes. I love it. Love the overall purpose of it. I think it's great to have the business owners on here.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here, and very impressive. Probably the best story I think we've heard.
Absolutely.
Right, business story of somebody coming up and 10 years old. I mean, unbelievable. So good work.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, as always, for checking out DMG's Bootstraps and Business. If you'd like to find out more about our guests, DMG, or these podcasts, just check out the show notes. Thank you.